The slimline pistol family just grew by another one, but this one sets itself apart a little bit. Let's get to work. So guys, slimline pistols are a trend that have been up and coming in the market quite rapidly lately. And although there were guns that came out before it, like GallowTech and Glock 43, the Sig P365 is really what developed this into its own branch. Now, unfortunately, I don't have mine right now. It's out on loan. What I do have is its new released big brother, the P365X Macro. So I made a lot of fun of the Hellcat Pro when it first came out for being a big small gun. But in shooting it, we actually found out that it performs rather well, performing almost as well as the Glock 19 at speed and being a little bit more concealable. Well, Sig, being Sig, decided to give a big old bird over to Springfield and come out with the Macro. Now, what sets the Macro apart from a gun like the Hellcat Pro? First, let's talk a couple of the similarities. Both have night sights, both are optics cut, both have a full-length grip with a full-length magazine, both have real 1913 accessory rails, and both have grips that fill your hands out relatively well. Contrary to the standard P365, the Macro here does have a little bit thicker of a grip. It's going to work for shooters with a little bit bigger hands. Now, the things that set it apart, there are two major things that set this apart from a gun like the Hellcat Pro. First and foremost, we have an integrated compensator within the barrel. This is not a barrel port. This actually has a standard P365 length barrel, and in front of that are compensation ports actually integrated within the slide. Now, I know that you're thinking to yourself, well, do ports really do that much? I can guarantee you that they can. Just this week, I was out at Applied Ballistics with Aaron, the range owner, who we had this discussion before. Will these ports really affect the shootability of the gun? And he agrees with me that they do. Now, it's weird in how it works. It doesn't really decrease the felt recoil at all. What it does do is it decreases how much the gun actually jumps. So it still has a quick cyclical rate, but it just doesn't jump. And to really land home the second thing that sets this apart from the Hellcat, I would like to bring the Hellcat back into the frame and show you that. So we have a magazine that sits a little bit below the Hellcat. It's about 3/16 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch in overall height, additional to the Hellcat Pro. Now, why do we have that with the Macro? It's because the Macro has a 17 round magazine. That's right, this gun, with about the same grip length as my beloved P10C, carries 17 rounds. So now we've got a slimline, super concealable, very flat shooting firearm with a 17 round magazine. Is this the perfect carry gun? Maybe. But not for everybody. Now, why couldn't it not be the perfect carry gun for everybody? Well, here's why, is because even though it does shoot a little bit flatter, you have to have really good basics to actually capitalize on that. If you don't have a good grip on it, because the cyclical rate is pretty quick, you're not going to notice the lack of rise quite as much as somebody with a good grip. Additionally, because it is a little bit longer, concealability is going to be less than like the 365 or the 365X or XL. But for veteran concealed carriers who are used to a relatively standard compact grip length, to have a gun this flat shooting, people are gonna love this thing. It's not really caught on as quickly as I thought that it would, and I think the price point is the reason that gun sits at about $800 right now. A little bit spicy for just your average concealed carrier, which is yet another reason that the new concealed carriers aren't going to go that way. That being said, very few guns in that price range are going to give you a similar shooting experience. With the first time that I took this thing out, I took it out with the Glock 19, I took it out with my P10C, I took it out with the original Hellcat, the Hellcat Pro, the Sig P365, and I'll tell you guys, it shoots quicker and flatter. Again, that quick cyclical rate, it feels a little bit sharp, but it just doesn't rise as much. It really does shoot better, and it hurts me a little bit to say that. I was talking to the Humble Marksman about this right after it came out, and he was telling me about how good it was, and he and I are pretty good friends, but I wasn't 100% sure if it wasn't just rose-colored glasses of a new gun that was helping his outlook on it. That's also why I haven't put out something until now. I wanted to get a lot of rounds through it, and he's not lying. It really is that good. Now, I am trying to find a holster for it. I have not gotten to carry it yet. Up until this point, holsters has been relatively hard to find because unfortunately, Sig did not make it cross-compatible. There are some pieces in it that are a little bit bigger than the original, thus making it more than just a barrel length. One of the things is that rail, which I can appreciate. Nice long rail. Which is nice because it does let you run something like the TLR7 Sub, without having to get an adapter or something, or to run a special model. Now, this isn't my final review of this because I am still shooting it. I haven't carried it yet, and I don't run reviews of guns that I haven't carried, and honestly, I want to run this thing in a match. Now, I don't know where it's going to fit. I don't know, obviously it would be open because of the ports. I don't know if I need to like wait or anything, or if I could just go run it. I do need a holster for it to do that. So there is that. But we're going to do all of that before we actually get the review out. That being said, we will get a review out on it. But guys, thus far, I am impressed. And fear not, my SIG friends, if you already have an X or an XL framed gun, and you pick up an X Macro and you want mag versatility between the two, if you want to pick up some 17 round mags and just run them in the other ones once they become available, or if you want to kind of make a little bit of a bastard child and put the X Macro slide on your X or XL frame, but still take it to the range and get that 17 round mag compatibility, I bring you the null adapter for the P365X and XL for the 17 round magazines. This is from my company, Variant Innovation, and you can find a link in the description below for these. So thanks guys for watching our first little take on the Sig P365X Macro. Remember, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button down below. If you like what we do here and you want to help out a little bit, there's a couple of different ways to do that. As I said, you can go to variantinnovation.com, pick up some 3D printed gun accessories. You can go to patreon.com/workthetrigger and go ahead and become a member over there, or you can become a channel member right here on YouTube. Thanks guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.